The sun burned brightly over Soweto, the kind of hot afternoon that makes the air shimmer above the tar roads. Vuvuzelas roared like angry horns of war as thousands of supporters flooded toward FNB Stadium, gold and black shirts, black and white skulls, 2 colors, 2 tribes, 1 battlefield. It was Derby Day. Music blasted from taxis, dry smoke rolled through the streets, and the excitement was electric. Strangers laughed together, sharing beers and predictions. Today, Chiefs will finish Pirates. One man shouted, another lifted his skull and crossbones scarf and laughed. Not today. Today we bury Chiefs. Inside the stadium, the atmosphere was thunder. 50,000 voices bouncing off concrete, drums singing whistles. A wall of noise shaking the steel beams, but beneath the noise, something else lingered. Some of the older supporters refused to sit near the players' tunnel. They remembered stories whispered for decades about the Derby, stories about muthi buried beneath the grass, stories about spirits that never left after the disaster at Ellis Park Stadium during the Ellis Park Stadium disaster, stories that said football was never just football in Soweto, sometimes it was war. The referee's whistle cut through the air. The match began. At first it was beautiful football, fast, aggressive, clean, tackles crashing like thunder, supporters screaming with every near goal. But something felt wrong. In the 20th minute, the wind changed. Clouds rolled in from nowhere, dark and heavy, swallowing the sun. The stadium lights flickered. A strange silence moved across the pitch for just a second, like the air itself was holding its breath. Then, Orlando Pirates scored. The stadium exploded, but the Chiefs' goalkeeper stood frozen. He didn't dive. He didn't move. He just stared at something behind the goalposts, something no one else could see. People laughed it off. Nerves, they said. But the goalkeeper walked slowly back to his line, eyes wide, shaking. He kept looking toward the grass behind the net, as if something was crawling there. The game restarted. 5 minutes later, Pirates attacked again. The ball moved quickly across the pitch, like it was being pushed by an invisible hand. Second goal, 2-0. The Chiefs' defenders looked confused, angry, frustrated. One of them bent down near the penalty box and picked something up from the grass. A small black stone tied with red string. The defender threw it away immediately, but the damage was already done. Thunder cracked across the sky. Rain began to fall. Not soft rain, heavy, violent. Within minutes, the pitch turned into dark mud. The crowd became restless. Then the screaming started. Not from the pitch, from the stands. A man facing the tunnel suddenly stood up, staring toward the field. His face drained of color. "They're here," he whispered. Then he screamed, loud enough that the people around him fell silent. "They're walking on the field." People looked toward the pitch. At first they saw nothing, just rain and players slipping in the mud. Then lightning flashed, and for a split second, figures appeared on the grass. Not players, but shapes. Dozens of them, standing across the field like a second team, watching and waiting. The lights flickered again, then darkness, then light. The figures were gone. The crowd started shouting, fighting, pushing. Some people ran for the exits. Others refused to leave, screaming that Pirates had used dark muthi. But the game continued, and in the 78th minute, Pirates scored again, 3-0. The final goal, but this time something impossible happened. The ball rolled slowly into the net. No shot, no kick, just rolling, like someone invisible pushed it. The goalkeeper backed away in terror. The referee blew the whistle and ended the match early. Players ran toward the tunnel. Fans rushed toward the exits. Rain hammered the stadium like stones. Lightning flashed again, and that's when people saw them clearly. Standing all across the pitch, hundreds of silent figures, covered in mud, eyes empty, watching the stadium, watching the living. Some people recognized the shapes immediately. They looked like the victims from the Ellis Park disaster, 43 shadows. Standing where the grass met the mud, one supporter collapsed, screaming, because one of the figures slowly turned its head toward the crowd and smiled. The stadium lights went out completely. For 10 seconds, the entire stadium was black. When the power came back, the pitch was empty. No ghosts, no shadows, just rain and muddy grass. Officials blamed panic. They said it was lightning, hallucinations, fear. But the footage from the stadium cameras told a different story, because on the final replay of the third goal, you could see the ball rolling slowly into the net. and behind it, 43 muddy footprints, walking beside it, as if something unseen had escorted the ball across the line. The final score was recorded in the history books, Pirates 3, Chiefs 0, but some supporters still say that match was never truly played by 11 men. They say the derby that day had extra players, and every time the two giants of South African Premier Division meet again, the rain always returns, because the dead still come to watch the Soweto Derby, and sometimes they choose a side.